3v3 faction war. This is Valderus Refinery and Space Marines versus Tyranids. Game 3. First up for the Tyranids unchanged, we have Caeltos, lead designer of Elite Mod, playing a Ravener Alpha tunneling commander with great mobility. He can also put out some pretty decent damage. Starts off with a ranged weapon alongside Ace of Swords as a Lictor Alpha melee specialist that can infiltrate and disrupt with some awesome offense and a little bit of support too. And Floid rounding out the Tyranid team as a big stompy Hive Tyrant, very durable commander that walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. Awesome offense power with some support and disruption as well. For the Space Marine team, we have two Techmarines. First up is Final Push and Toilailee also as the Blood Ravens. These guys start off with a ranged weapon, put out some good damage, can also support with structures and repair and deal with enemy vehicles quite nicely. And rounding off the red Space Marine team is Adila with some more Blood Ravens and an Apothecary support commander that fights in melee combat by default, begins with a target heal and a passive health regeneration aura. So this map should be a lot better for Space Marines. They can kind of mill around the middle and control huge parts of the map. Also lock down the central VP with their tough and powered up squads as they go through the tiers. I don't think mobility is that important on this map. It obviously does help as you can push forward and bash power with mobility, but as I said before, overarching strategy kind of goes out the window against Tyranids. I think it's much more important to be a little less aggressive and make sure you win your engagements rather than pushing forward trying to get power and losing stuff as a result. Tyranids don't really care that much about losing power early on. I don't think. They can still swarm you with termagants and formagaunts, push you off, bash you and then rebuild. Especially with that awesome mobility they get from towers. But early on we have Adila as the Apothecary pushing up this east side. Caeltos, very strangely, with just double Hormagaunts here, both with their adrenal glands. Raven Alpha pushing all the way up and bashing power early on. 497, 469. Tyranids, of course, with a 2-0 victory lead against the Space Marines in this series so far. There has been a 3-0 win. The Imperial Guard versus Chaos was a 3-0. Was there another one? I'm not sure. Space Marines don't want that to happen though. Tactical Marines in retreat there. Apothecary is going to go down as he retreats away from that cap. He did finish that cap though. So we'll see how the Space Marines do. Are they going to kind of sit mid and hold and repel the Tyranids, or are they going to be a bit more aggressive and push out and try and bash power early on? We do have a Flamer Tactical Marines here from the Final Push. The Flamer's a pretty good tool versus double termagants if you can get close enough through their crippling poison and burn the crap out of them. But does leave you perhaps vulnerable to those melee warriors. These warriors though getting a Barb Strangler. You saw the double Kraken bolts from these double Tactical Marines that Toilailee has. Something you see a hell of a lot of these days. It used to be that you barely ever saw double Tactical Marines even in 3v3s, but now you see it a lot. 481, 456. Ravener Brood on the field for Caeltos, getting the Devourers immediately. And it's double termagants, double Hormagaunts for Floid again. Does he going to go before? He's got Bioplasma already. And improved synapse. He's used this build in every game with the Venom Cannon as well. Adila's Apothecary. I think Toilailee's trying to look for a revive here, and that will level his Techmarine to 2. Those Hormagaunts just about getting away. A very strange build here from Caeltos, and no Termagant build. Incredibly rare to see. That was a very, very good grenade. Wow, whacked out all of those Hormagaunts. A fantastic grenade from those scouts. Assault Marines jumping. That was a massive, massive engagement winner there. And that's what I mean about winning your engagements against Tyranids. 481, 426 sounds obvious. Win your engagements, really injured. But I think it is incredibly important against Tyranids. You can't dodge engagements and kind of try and control areas. It doesn't really work because they can just hit you where you're weakest so quickly with those towers. 481, 415. So the idea is never to be weak. Tactical Marines here lost a model for for final push. Assault Marine's getting away okay there. Will the Techmarine get away? Looks like he will. It's a pain in it. Can be a real pain in the ass, this double termagants, double hormagaunts that Floid runs, because if you jump the double termagants with the Assault Marines, you have double hormagaunts and a Hive Tyrant there ready to bite you to death and claw your faces off. These guys in retreat trying to be cheeky and decap. Five Strangler Warriors suppressing those Marines, but these Marines with those Kraken bolts up doing big chunks of damage. Toilailee making sure to keep his tactical Marines separated so they both don't get suppressed by the Warriors. Scouts moving in. Are they looking for a grenade here? Wow! Ace of Swords losing 2 Warrior Brood models, perhaps lucky not to lose all of them. The Assault Marines didn't seem to go after them there. A grenade goes in, which did pretty well. Ace of Swords cutting it really thin with these Hormagaunts. Are they going to get away? I don't think they are. Bolt pistols should be enough to finish them. No. Really good play there from Ace of Swords, sending his Termagants into melee combat so those bolt pistols couldn't fire, saving his Hormagaunt brood. Really saved them. They were incredibly low there. Bioplasma on retreat path from Floid. Getting fancy with his bioplasma usage. Did that hit those Assault Marines that do well there? They retreat back to the beacon. Those Assault Marines need to be incredibly careful. In fact, they just retreat the hell out of there. 390, 408. Triple cap for the Space Marines. Tyranids losing models left and right. This is what I mean about controlling the mid as Space Marines. Look at this massive blob of bolt to death here. Supported by that beacon, of course. That made all of the difference there. Because if that wasn't there, Toilailee's stuff would have been just finished their retreat back to base probably. I wouldn't have been able to hit back so quickly there. 357, 408. Double Raveners here for Caeltos, both with their ranged weapons. They do a fair amount of piercing damage to those Devourers. And there's a Hive node. Ravener Alpha is capping. Massive amount of Space Marine forces here with a Flamer taking down that brood nest. Global ability of the Hive Tyrant. And they're flaming up these Raveners here. We are now protected by that Hive node, but that's also debuffing the damage that they do in ranged combat. There's a shotgun blast, nicely done, hitting both squads, and Caeltos against 2 players didn't stand much chance, held as long as he could. Grenade on retreats, couldn't quite throw it as he wanted to there. Adila, the shotgun scouts doing well as a bioplasma. That's how you know Floid is coming into the fight. 318, 408. Retreat there for final push, but I assume he's activated the beacon, so he's just going to retreat back to there. 313, 408. Massive amounts of pressure from the Space Marines here. They've caught the Tyranids isolated several times from their allies, especially Caeltos has got hit a couple of times quite badly. Went for a very strange build though, double Hormagaunts. I assume he was going for double Hormagaunts into double Raveners, but of course he lost one of those Hormagaunt broods to that grenade and Nez purification vase as well. Look at the damage to those Hormagaunts. That is scary stuff. Here's Ace's Warrior Brood. Spore mines on the field from Ace. Dropped in, were they? I assume so. 262, 408. Tier 2 for everyone. Zone Thrope on the way and a Dreadnought on the way for Adila. Here are those double Raveners. Can they start to pay for themselves now with that ranged damage support backing up the melee forces as they run in? Ace of Swords. I wonder if we're going to see the adrenal glands on these warriors, because they seem to be getting jumped and dealt with quite nicely by these Assault Marines here. Who's on this side? It's Floid. We've seen Floid towards the middle a lot, not really pushing this side very often. We might see him do so now. Here's that Dreadnought. This is final push with an assault cannon on it. Caeltos trying to destroy this power here. You don't want to give Space Marines a power advantage. This is one faction that you really want to bash power on. 214, 408. Assault Marines with the Merciless Strike, nicely done. Crit Pin Poison on them. Another jump though. Wow. This is the power that Assault Marines can bring. Get that chained jump with 2 squads. Massive amounts of disruption. 204, 408. So they have double the VPs right now, red team. And now a Dreadnought in their face, the Tyranids. So what are they going to do about this guy? They have double zone throat so they can snare the thing, but do they have the DPS so you can bring it down? And there's another Dreadnought from Adila with an assault cannon also. What are these Hormagaunts doing here from Floid? They're trying to flank around obviously, but Hormagaunts got caught badly. You see him bringing his zone thrope around here because he doesn't want his zone thrope caught in this area. That could be a dead zone thrope very quickly. 165-408, triple cap from the Space Marines. They are dominating here on a much more favourable map for them. The map's of course random in the Faction War series, but both teams do have the chance to reject a map. The refinery maps though are very popular, so I don't expect these ones to be rejected. Venom Brood is up from Caeltos. Gives him ranged synapse, and that's powering up the health and the damage output of these ranged Raveners. And he has the synapse aura for damage, so that's going to power them up even more. A 25% damage buff, as you see there. And it's a 35% damage buff, I think, from the ranged synapse there. And as you can see, it levels up. The synapse improves as they level. 88-408, but enough of that. Space Marines dominant here. There you see advanced healing, fully kitted out Apothecary with Anointed Power Axe and Purification Vials. What is this guy doing? I have Tyrant getting in all sorts of trouble trying to bioplasm something perhaps. Final push, putting a turret up over here. Grenade. Raveners jumping, the Devastators forcing them off. There's a capillary tower. 58-408, a really nice assault cannon barrage. Such an awesome ability. Recently toned down, of course. Ace of Swords just trying to tie up this Dreadnought with those Hormagaunts so he doesn't fire that thing, but they were way too low to stay in there. 47-408. The Tyranids have their natural. Venom Brood now on the way for Ace of Swords. Floid going for a Tyrant Guard. Tier 3 now for final push. This looks like an easy victory for the Space Marines in Game 3 for a 2-1 series, it looks like it. Tyrailee's Dreadnought chasing away Termagants. Look at that, double Tactical Marines, Assault Squad and a Dreadnought. Such a solid build for Space Marines, can pretty much deal with anything. 26-408. Venom Brood getting shots, and you see the damage they do. These guys are set to get a cost increase in the next update. I think they'll have a 15 power cost out the gate, and their range synapse cost will also be adjusted slightly. I think it's going to be 25 power down from 40, I believe, something like that. You can read all the changes on the forum, but it's 6-408. There's a double cap for the Space Marines, and they're going to win this right now, right here. And there it is. And look at the map at the end. Tyranids got overrun severely. A unorthodox build from Caeltos perhaps contributed to it. Double Hormagaunts into double Raveners. I think with that kind of build you need early support from your allies, because you're not going to have the numbers on the field in first engagement. You didn't really get that support from Ace, who was pushing other areas, and of course he lost that Hormagaunt Brood early on to that awesome grenade, which didn't help. But Space Marines very, very solid there, doing well in their engagements. Nice usage of the beacon. Did the beacon survive? Get rid of that arrow, Indrid. Yes, the beacon did survive. It was well placed from, who put it up? It was Toilailee's beacon. And there you have it. It's a 2-1 series to the Tyranids, and Space Marines coming through at the end for a very quick victory, just over 10 minutes I believe. But there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.